My name is Blake Calhoun. I'm a freelance filmmaker and YouTube creator. And during the pandemic, I had a Tuff Shed built in my backyard to use as a home studio. This series of videos shows how I did it and how you can too. All right, in the new studio space, and there is no sound deadening in here right now. I do have some carpets on the ground. That's about it. And it is a very reflective room, no question about it. And so what I'm going to do is I bought some sound panels, some foam, and I'm gonna put that on the ceiling first.
So I'm using this 3M VHB double-sided tape to put these on the ceiling. These are very light. I would say these just weigh ounces. They're 12 by 12 and about a 1/4 inch. I'm actually about a 1/2 inch thick. And then I have to peel this off to put it on the ceiling.
I used a pencil and a ruler to mark the first ones here to get things started, but after that, I pretty much just eyed it. It's important to put pressure on the tiles to make sure that it actually adheres to the roof, and they set pretty quickly. And I only covered part of the ceiling near where I'll be recording audio versus covering it entirely. So now I've got the ceiling tiles in place and furniture along with the rugs. It's still echoey in here. So next up, I'm going to put up panels on the wall, sound panels, and that should really help deaden it. But the panels on the ceiling should be helping a little bit along with the furniture. All right, well now I'll go start the DIY sound panel project, and then I'll bring those back in here, put them on the walls, and we'll see how much better this room sounds. All right, I'm building 6 panels. So I got 6 96-inch 2x2 pieces of wood, and I'm going to cut these into sections to make them all 18 inches across, although the end pieces will need to be 22 inches. That way the interior of the actual square will be 18. Now this is a total DIY project, and so I'm using a hand saw because I don't have a power saw at my house right now. Got a pencil, tape measure, and then I bought some screws, some 3-inch screws that I will use a drill. I do have a drill to connect these together to make the boxes. Yeah, it would be easier with a power saw. All right, so I got 2 of the sides, and I'm glad I just measured these. They are 18 because I just cut those, and that's great. And I need it to be an 18 by 18 inner square, but I thought these were 2 by 2. These are actually 1.5 by 1.5. And so instead of making the next pieces that go on the outside 22, I need to make them 21. So then again, it'll connect on the outside, and the inner box will be 18 inches square. So I'm glad I measured. What's the saying? Measure twice, cut once, or something like that. I don't have a sawhorse either, or any kind of vice clamp. So making do, DIY, having fun, DIY. And so these are 21 on the outside, and then these inner ones are 18. And so I will drill these together, put the foam in there, and then I'm going to put fabric around them. So I'm not even going to paint or sand or anything this wood because it will be hidden. Just finished cutting all the wood. Now I've got enough for 6 panels. And so next step will be to assemble the frames. And I'm now debating whether I'm going to use screws or not. I may just use nails to keep it really simple. So now I will assemble the frames. So I went to the hardware store and got some different screws because the wood, as I mentioned earlier, is smaller than I thought. And so these are 2.5-inch traditional wood screws. And I'm still going to drill pilot holes to put them in, but that way these will be easier to crank in, and also the longer ones I have would probably go through both pieces of wood. So I used the drill for the pilot holes, but then to put the actual screws in, I used a cordless screwdriver. The drill I found was a little bit too unwieldy, and so I had more control with the screwdriver. In a perfect world, I'd probably put 2 screws in each side, but again, because these are so small and so light, I think 1 screw is going to be fine, because once I put the foam inside here and staple the fabric on the outside, and of course I'll attach this side next, this will be fairly secure. Decided to go with some navy blue fabric. I just bought it at a fabric store. This was like 20 bucks. Alright, so here's the first one, and it doesn't look perfect. It definitely is not the prettiest thing, but now I'll put the foam in and do the fabric around it. I just want to test this first one, make sure it's going to work like I want before I do the other 5, because I'm doing 6 total. And here's the foam. 6-pack of 18 by 18 by 2 inches. And I'm not worried about this bad edge because again, that's going to be stapled around the back. I am noticing there's a seam right here, and so I'll probably go iron this before I actually attach this to the frame. All right, I got this ironed, and so that's going to look pretty good, I think. Now I need to attach the fabric actually to the wood with a staple gun. And I'm going to trim that real quick first as well. I've got a staple gun here, and I'm just going to fold it and staple it down. These aren't going in flush. I guess that's okay. Maybe you need a little more of an industrial strength stapler, but again, this is the first one I've made, so a little trial and error here. Trying to make this corner neat because this edge will show. These staples didn't go all the way in, as I mentioned earlier. Probably need a little more robust gun, but this will work. So I'm going to tap these in just very slightly with the hammer. So now this is all put together with the fabric over the frame, and I need to put the foam in to see how it all goes together. I'll probably put another piece over the back here just to keep it all together and then keep the foam in place. So there's the first panel. Feels pretty solid. All right, got the first one on the wall and decided to hang them diagonally like that. And I also decided not to close up the back. I left it open, that way I could put a nail in the wall and then slip the frame over the nail. Again, keeping it very DIY. And with one panel up, I'm not seeing much difference in here yet, but I've got 5 more to add, and that should make a pretty big difference. Got the second one done, and the one thing I wanted to note is on the first one, I didn't feel like I pulled the fabric as tight as I should have. On this one, I pulled it tighter, and I think it looks better. And so I'm going to do that on the remaining panels. So they're both up on the wall now, and I think it looks pretty good. The sound in the room is deadening too, which is obviously the idea. But that's just one wall. I will put more on the wall opposite now. And so I put 3 more panels on the opposite wall, but I didn't have room for the 4th one. So I'm currently using 5 total with the 2 original that I put up, plus the acoustic tiles I put on the ceiling. And the bounce in the room has definitely been diminished, which is good. It's not as quiet as I would probably like it, but again, I'm not trying to make a VO recording booth or a soundproof room. It sounds pretty good for making videos and recording a podcast. All right, cut to several months later, and here we are in my studio. I did end up adding some additional acoustic foam on the walls there. Those I actually bought from Guitar Center, and you can get those on Amazon or anywhere really, but they helped really knock things down a lot. I also put them behind my desk here along the wall. And on the far wall where I had the 2 just original panels installed. Additionally, I have a large light there that helps light the scene when I'm doing YouTube videos. Today I wanted to look at LumaFusion and the iPad Pro. If you haven't been following what they're doing, it's pretty incredible. They are coming out with an entire updated version 3 of their app that I really believe will push a lot of people, and I mean more traditional editors, towards working on an iPad doing mobile video editing. And by the way, I am purposely recording just directly into my camera mic right now so you can hear how the audio sounds, and it really, I think, sounds pretty good. I also ended up putting a few more acoustic tiles on the ceiling. I didn't, however, cover it completely, as I only record audio on this side of the room, and so I only put the ceiling tiles covering that area. This job took me a couple days, maybe 3 tops, and so I felt like it turned out really well, and of course saved me a lot of money in the end. You could definitely go out and buy your own sound panels on Amazon and other places, but those really add up. I mean, hundreds of dollars, if not more, depending on how many you buy. And so this DIY method not only worked well for me, but again, saved a lot of money. Links for everything I used are in the description below. And I also included some step-by-step instructions on what I did if you want to build some of these for your own studio. Well, thanks for watching, guys. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.